Tell us, why did you apply for this entity?
Well, Numsa, for a couple of years now, we have been very critical of the renewable energy, it being introduced. You would know that the South African government has took money from our national purse and invested billions in building new power stations. There is enough electricity and with good coal that is supplying our national grid. And from where we're sitting as Numsa, we have a problem with the introduction of expensive renewable. I mean, the kilowatt is around 80 cents. These renewables are around 2 rand and 79 cents. And who's going to carry this burden? But not only that, I mean, there is a huge potential of close to 40,000 jobs with the power stations if Eskom, when then we debated this thing last year, of jobs that could be lost. And those are our members. We have got a duty to defend those particular jobs because, as you know, in the recent past, we lost about 4,000 jobs at Evras in Mpumalanga and Emalahleni. As we speak, Emalahleni have become a ghost town. If these renewables, its introduction leads to more power stations being closed, it means the whole Mpumalanga province will be a ghost town. We reject that. Secondly, if renewables are to be addressed, to be introduced from where we're sitting, it's crucial that it must be a socially owned renewable sector where the state must basically own. Secondly, there must be just transition. And those discussions, no Khadebe came to us and consult us so that we can have a discussion in the interest of the economy. The whole IRP resource plan has been put back because it had a nuclear. It's a bit strange that without a very comprehensive plan for the country that is being introduced, why are we being imposed with these renewables at this stage? Why are they seen to be strategic without a comprehensive plan that looks to energy mix and at what point must it be introduced in relation to the needs of the economy and the needs of the people as we speak? In terms of expanded definition of unemployment, we got about close to 40% unemployment. 30.4 million South Africans do not have a plate of food. In this country, one single person who's got a job supports 5 to 6 extended families. And therefore, you can't have people in the name of so-called New Dawn are just going to act unilaterally, destroy jobs that are employing, that are putting a plate of food on the table because we want to look good to COP. You remember they went to COP17, they have committed what emissions they will reduce. We're not against renewables, but we're saying there must be just transition. It means there must be a plan which defines clearly how existing jobs will be redirected and be absorbed in the labor market. As things stand, we've got an economy that is in complete stagnation as a result of neoliberal policies that have led to job losses, to deindustrialization. And you wake up in the morning, the minister is signing renewables without sitting down and say, what is the plan, and consult all social partners that are directly involved and whose interest of their members will be affected like us. And we were left with no choice but to run to court.
Did you, before running to court, try to reason with the Minister of Energy?
The minister does not reason with us. He thinks we don't exist. In fact, from where we're sitting, we think that IPPs have captured the minister. They report to him direct. I think even the bureaucracy there have no role to play. It's almost like they have been waiting for this, because why would the minister not consult everybody and hear what are our concern on an issue we were outside fighting last year, saying no to the introduction of renewables for the obvious reasons that they are more expensive, like in terms of a kilowatt as compared to electricity that we currently have. And he said no reason why she should consult.
Mr. Jim, the ministry argues that this initiative will employ over 60,000 people. And have you tried to actually consider those sides of the renewables and other that the ministry has actually raised, like the fact that we cannot be staying on fossil fuels going forward because of obvious reasons of harmful airs and all that, and the coal industry cannot be what we actually stay on for long?
Well, I think nothing about us without us. We reject that. We reject to be promised jobs, which are hamburger jobs. I mean, we want to know, the jobs that we currently have are jobs that are paying a living wage, which we're fighting every day to improve against a government that believe that workers who are currently working must be paid 20 rand an hour. It is launching an attack. The very same government can tell us what is good and bad for us. We don't think that we think they are less than a candidate to lie and commit on jobs that will not be created. In fact, from where we're sitting, IPPs are not going to generate any quality jobs. There will be technical jobs. There will be few. The number that you are throwing is an exaggerated number. We reject that. But of course, if they believe that they are going to create jobs, why a rush? Why sneak this thing in? Why don't you consult? Why don't we count how many jobs that are currently created, how many jobs that will be impacted, and when you say they will be employed, there will be a just transition where these workers will be taken into the labor market? We don't think so. We think that this is a farce.
Quickly, sir, before we wrap up, if the court rejects your application, what's the way forward?
Well, the struggle continues. We ran to court. What you can win in the street, you can win in the boardroom. We have got a duty to continue with class struggle in defending the jobs of our members. And nobody will just simply say, because it is nice to move away from fossil fuels to renewables, and therefore we must just destroy jobs. We agree, yes, we must. But the question is, who's owning this particular technology? Who are the owners of these IPPs? Is it people who are in the pockets of all these individuals who are in positions of power? We say enough is enough. It's high time that we will reject, for instance, privatization, which we can see that in the economic cluster, if there's one thing we're smelling, there is privatization that is going to privatize our SOEs. We will leave no stone unturned to defend those assets that belong to the people. And as to what the future holds for that fight, it will be determined by the actual theater of struggle.